presence. Now one together. What is vibing? This is Vish. And today I'll be talking about pops. It's something you've probably heard in many other videos before, and I've briefly mentioned it maybe, but in this video I will be going more in depth as to what that means. But before we start, we'd love to hear what you're grateful for in this present moment in the comments down below. Would love to hear it, and you can take a quick second if you need to allow for that pop and then use that as a way to realize what you're grateful for in this moment. So take your time with that. So pops, what are they? Well, I'll talk, I guess, to keep it simple. First, starting to describe what it is, what it's similar to, why it's a little different, and also how it can be used and applied for you. I want to start making these more practical, right? Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the same verbiage or terms that I'm using, but it's just hopefully finding a means of connecting, right, with what I'm saying. I'm not going to use the word concepts, but really just, let's call them signposts that you can use to help with the spiritual journey that you are on. And you see, the spiritual journey, I'll probably make another video on this, but the spiritual journey is something that actually is very relevant to every aspect of life and every person on this planet. It's just a reality of, are they aware about it or not? Very simple. And there's not necessarily a religious component to this, and same thing applies to beliefs. I mean, you don't need to believe in anything. It's all about seeking awareness. There's no religious, nothing about that. It is all experiential. It is all common. We all have the ability to be aware. So that is why it is important to just realize that this is something that everyone can use and apply. And for most of us in the world right now, we're, I guess, in a way, hidden from the light. A similar movie is called The Matrix, which, if you've seen, comment that down below if you've seen it and what you think about it. What I really realized and kind of connected with from the movie, and this is Shazada Kasun, the brother, he is the one that recommended this to me, so watch that completely. I think even the first 3 parts, 3 different movies, and there's a new one coming out, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, this really just goes on to show, when you watch it, at least at this lens, it goes to show how society's preconditioned unconsciousness is just operating the world. And yes, the movie is a little more exaggeratory, and it's like this computer technology, robotic things operating, but it's really not that. That could just be a metaphor, at least how I view it. And before I forget, I had some more things that are just popping, so I want to note those down before I forget. So give me a quick second. I do appreciate your patience. There we go. Much love on that, and I'm sure you could have used this as a present moment, just to be in this moment, one with it all. For it's something, if you realize, it's something that we all have, literally, something that we all will ever have. There's nothing else that, it's something that is truly just there. You see, I made this video on this. Did I make a video? I did not, I think. Let me note this down as well. I will be talking about it. So we all have this preconceived type of view on life and death being polar opposites, and had this beautiful realization, which I connected with on Eckhart's book. It was Stillness Speaks, or I think it was Stillness Speaks. I forget which one. But anyways, We associate life being the opposite of death, but the reality is the opposite is birth. Life is eternal, and life is just a depiction of this present moment, which is all that we have. It's something that when you truly immerse yourself in, you will truly be connected with everyone and every being. So just a quick side note on that. But with that being said, what is a pop? You see, a pop is really, and this is something I've kind of derived from within. It's not maybe something that's out there, maybe in different terms and different words, but I would have to say it's very similar to a realization in a way, an epiphany maybe, an aha moment, eureka even, all very similar terms. But a pop is a little more on the, let's call it the lower levels of iterations, and it's really just like a quick first connection, because usually you have epiphanies or eurekas as well as even realizations are more of like the, I'm not going to say the end, but they're more progressed pops, developed pops. Like you have this thought and then you kind of have this connection and then you connect the dots and you're like, oh wow, that's eventually the realization. But the pop, that can also be a pop. It's, I guess, the whole idea of how does it go, man? It's, let's see, it's how a rectangle is a square, but a square is not a rectangle. I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. A rectangle is a square, but a square is not a rectangle. Or is it the other way around? I honestly forget. Would love to hear what you have to say about this in the comments down below. Which one is? I'll be looking into it. Actually, just because I want to be accurate with what I'm saying, I'm going to quickly look it up. Appreciate your patience. Okay, so every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. Interesting. So to get the point across, that's the whole point, right? So every realization is a pop, but not every pop is a realization, because the pops really at the core of how I view it are really just the quick, instant dot that pops, that just arises. When I say pop, it's really something arising. So it's like an arising connection. That's like a nice fitting term. An arising connection that's made within you. And it's not from the brain circuitry of connections, but really a deeper sense of connection, a deeper sense of knowing. You see, there's knowing, and then there's, okay, another idea. Hold on. 1 second. Another one popped, and these are very relevant. So it's really just knowing that there's this infinite amount of possibilities of realization, but really just to keep it simple, it's realizing that it's just a pop, really, and becoming aware of that pop. I mean, what is it again? It's really just, as I kind of said earlier, this connection that's made, that is conscious, that comes from within. And so an example would be, think of this idea like, oh, okay, a pop. Or as someone is, let's just say, talking, or someone you're observing, this connection just happens within, and that's like pop. Wow. Now I know pop could be viewed as like a bubble popping, but I guess even as an analogy to that, an analogy to that example, imagine like you have this sort of, in a way, it's called a mini realization, right? A pop. In a way, that's what it is. Excuse me. Thank you. One more. Excuse me now. So, yes, basically, it's a mini realization. And so imagine that mini realization is in this bubble, like this bubble that you blow, right? When you're a little kid. I'm sure it's something we all can relate to. The moment it pops is where it comes into fruition and you get to experience it. You're like, ah, okay. So it's really simple. It's really just the moment you're always in this observing kind of mode, you're just aware, these will just happen naturally. I'm sure you've seen in this channel, I've been having a lot of those. So it's as simple as that. And yeah, there's not too much to say about this, to be honest. Really just want to express what it meant for those of you that were wondering as you're watching this videos, what does it mean? But I guess one way to practice this for yourself would be just to go on a mini adventure to your backyard. Vacation to your backyard. Vacation to your little park near you or trail, whatever is close to you, and just be sitting or just be walking with no phone, meaning no phone on or no, don't mind the allergies, the stuffy nose, but no earphones on, you're not talking to anyone, you're just alone. You see, when you become truly alone, you will become one with everything. It's a very interesting thing. But anyways, would highly encourage you to do that. And then as you do it, just observe the thoughts, make this meditative, and then you will notice naturally you will just have pops that just form. Thank you so much for watching this. I would love to hear what pops you've had watching this video or in general. You could even come back to this video after you've gone on your little adventure and comment down below what you've had as a pop. And also would love to hear what you're grateful for. I think that's something I've been really trying to practice with everyone. So comment that down also below. Would love to hear if you have any other maybe topic requests also in the comments down below. But with that, make it a great day. Take it joyfully. Presence. One together. Stay conscious. Ecstasy.